Now see new chapter, that is current electricity. In current electricity, first you see electric current. What is electric current? Flow of electric charge. So how they define electric current? That is electric current represent with I. They define like this: charge flow. Charge is represented with Q. Charge flow within 1 second. Suppose if in t seconds Q amount of charge is flowing, Q by T is electric current. Otherwise we can define like this also: electric current I is equal to rate of flow of charge. Rate of flow of charge. What are the units? You see, for charge, coulomb is a unit, for time second, or this they write as ampere, scientist name. So unit of current is ampere. Sometimes we can write the charge Q as Q is equal to Ne. Ne or Nq. Suppose the number of charges are there. Each charge is Q. In place of E means nothing but we can take electron, but you can take small charges are there. Each charge is small q, and like that n charges are there. So Q is equal to Nq, or sometimes if you write in terms of electron charge, so you can write Ne. So what you can write current? Current I is equal to Nq by T or Ne by T. Suppose for example you can take a conductor, and through a conductor within 1 second how many number of electrons are passing? Take that. N is the number of electrons and T is the time taken, E is the charge of electron. Then what is the current flowing through the conductor? That is Ne by T we can write. Now see, if you take a conductor nothing but a metal wire having free electrons inside. Suppose take electrons E, free electrons E, which are moving like this. So like this n number of electrons are moving from one end to other end. Then how much current is flowing means here you can write current I is equal to Ne by T. How many number of electrons are moving from one end to other end and how much time it take. And here direction of the current if you take. See, electrons are moving like this. Electron nothing but a negative charged particle. Negative charged particle moving like this means you can take current in conventional direction opposite to negative direction. So current is flowing opposite to motion of negative charge, that is nothing but electron. Suppose in some other cases electrolytes is there. Electrolytes means a liquid which contains inside ions. Positive ions and negative ions are there. Suppose here you can take electrodes. This is a positive electrode, you can think. Positive electrode, and this is a negative electrode. It is filled with a solution, ionic solution. Then what happens? Negative ions are moving towards to positive plate. Negative ions minus are moving like this, and positive ions are moving towards to negative plate. In this case, how much amount of current is flowing here in electrolyte? In solids means only electrons are moving, no positive charge is moving. Why? Because positive charge is inside the nucleus, which is fixed in the solids. But in electrolytes, whole atom, whole nucleus is moving. Due to that, positive charge is in motion and negative charge also in motion. Suppose think that n1 number of negative charges is there, each one charge q1 is there, and n2 number of positive charges, each of charge is q2, are moving like this in opposite direction. Then what is the amount of current flowing? In that case, amount of current flowing we can write like this: I is equal to N1Q. Due to negative charges, how much charge is flowing? Each charge is Q1. Like that, how many charges? N1 charges. And plus N2Q into Q2. That is, N2 is the number of positive charges and charge of each positive charge is Q2. This all happen in t seconds. Then this is the current, how you write. These two are moving in opposite direction. These two are moving current opposite direction means current is flowing in same direction. Why? Because positive charge moving like this means direction of positive charge shows the direction of the current. Negative charge is moving in this direction. So what is according to this? Negative charge move like this means current flows opposite direction. Here negative charge moves like this, so current flows in this direction. Nothing but both currents, current due to electrons and current due to negative charges and current due to positive charges, both are flowing in same direction. So we can write here plus. Suppose what happened here in a electrolyte, positive ions and negative ions both are moving in the same direction. Then what you get, and of course due to positive charge current flows in the same direction, but due to negative charge we get current in opposite direction. Due to that, what you can take here you have to take minus, difference you have to take. So in case of solids, only electrons are moving, electrons nothing but negative charge is only moving. But in case of electrolytes, both positive ions and negative ions are moving. Here current flows only because of electron motion. Here current flows due to motion of the positive ions and negative ions. Now see, if a charged particle is revolving in circular path, and what is the amount of current? So you can take so there is a charged particle revolve in circular path. Think that charge is Q. Q, and the radius of this circle is R. It is moving with a velocity. This charged particle is rotating with a velocity v. And we have different relations. What is v? V is linear velocity, which is equal to r omega. Omega is angular velocity. And other relation of omega, omega is equal to 2 pi by t. T is time period, time taken for one rotation. Or otherwise you can write 2 pi into f. F is the frequency. 1 by time period you can write as frequency. Using these values, how to calculate current? Suppose if charged particle is rotating in circular path, at any particular position, how much current is flowing? So amount of current flowing, we can write like this: I is equal to charge by time, Q by T. So from this, what you can write Q by T. So calculate T value and send this omega that side. So we can write Q by 2 pi by omega, we can write T is equal to 2 pi by omega. And suppose if you compare these two, T and F relation, 1 by T is equal to F. So in place of 1 by T, you can write as F and charge Q, we can write. Suppose here omega we can write as V by R. That also we can substitute in this equation. That is in this equation. Then what do you get from that? Q by 2 pi omega we can write as V by R. So this is the formula. If they get time period, use this. If they get angular frequency or angular velocity, use this. If they get only frequency, use this. If they get velocity and radius of circular path, then you can use this one. Now let's see one relation. Electric current according to definition. One important point, electric current is a scalar quantity. But actually electric current has magnitude and direction also. Direction in which way current is flowing, that we know in the wire. So it has both magnitude and direction, even though it is a scalar quantity, because it fails to explain about addition of vectors. Suppose for example you can take two conductors like this. Here current is I1, here current flows I2. This is the angle between those two wires is 60. And resultant we get I1 plus I2. Whatever the angle of this between these two conductors, the resultant is I1 plus I2 only. So it is not changing, but vectors means depend upon angle of inclination, and the sum of that are resultant must be changed. Here it is not changing like that. Here 2 amperes, here 3 amperes means this must be 5 amperes. Maybe you can decrease this angle less, 30 degrees or 40 degrees or 90 degrees you can make. So this value is not changing. So it is not following a vector addition property. That's why current, even it have magnitude and direction, but it is not a vector quantity, it is a scalar quantity. I is equal to dq by dt. Suppose from this, if they give charge equation, example 1 we can take. First type of question, q is equal to some constant a t square plus b t cube plus c, like this if they give. Then how to calculate current? Current I is equal to, once the differentiation of charge, so differentiate this, a is constant, t square differentiation is 2t, and b constant, and t cube differentiation is 3t square, and constant differentiation is 0. That we get current equation. Sometimes they give that second model. Sometimes they give that current I is equal to AT plus BT square plus C, they give like this. In that case, how to calculate charge? So from this equation, what you can write, dq is equal to I dt. If you want charge, both sides take integration, time changes from 0 to t, and here charge you can take integral dq is q, total charge, is equal to integral 0 to t, in place of I what you can write, at plus bt square plus c into dt. From this what you get, q is equal to a constant outside, t integration, so that is t square by 2 b t square integration, t cube by 3, and constant means c, and t power 0 is there. T power 0 means t power 0 plus 1 by 0 plus 1, nothing but t we get. And then we can apply limits from 0 to t. First you substitute upper limit, then whatever you get the value, and minus, substitute the lower limit, subtract that value from the first value. Like this we can solve. So if they give current, differentiate. You get, if they give charge, differentiate, you get current. If they give current, integrate, you get charge. Now let's see about current density. So according to definition, current density is nothing but current flowing for unit area of the conductor. Suppose you can take a conductor. We are assuming a cross section here. Cross section like this. The area of cross section is A. Direction of area of cross section we can represent like this. So a vector normal drawn on the surface, that is the direction of area, that is along the conductor we get. How current is flowing? In the same direction. Current flows in same direction. This is the direction of I. So how they define current density? Current density represented with J, that is current flowing for unit area. Current flowing per unit area. What are the units you see? Ampere per meter square. Ampere per meter square. Actually J is current density is a vector quantity, area also vector quantity, but I is scalar quantity, electric current. So we can write electric current I is equal to J bar dot A bar. Why? Because J is vector quantity and A also vector quantity, that area. Current is a scalar quantity. So on multiplying two vectors, we are getting a scalar, means that must be a dot product. That means you can write that is as a J A cos theta. Of course, in this cos theta is 0, so we can write here cos 0 is 1. Suppose you can assume a conductor like this. So current is flowing along the length of the conductor. This is the direction of the current flow. And we are assuming a cross section like this. Like this we are assuming. This is the area now. What is the direction or normal through the surface? That area what we assume, this is a bar. And how current is flowing in this direction, this is angle theta. Now it is not 0, there it is 0, both are parallel, here some angle is there. In this case we can use I is equal to JA cos theta. So this is about current density, which is represented with J bar.
In this video we will see about Ohm's law. So according to Ohm's law, the current flowing through a conductor, suppose you can assume a conductor is there and which is having length L, area cross section A. They apply a potential difference across the conductor. The current flowing through the conductor is directly proportional to potential difference across the conductor. And to remove that proportionality, they use a constant, that is G. So G is called conductance here. G is called conductance. Reciprocal of conductance, what you call resistance. That's why in place of G you can take 1 by R. So I is equal to 1 by R into V. So V is equal to IR. This is the Ohm's formula. V is equal to IR. V is potential difference or voltage. I is current. R is resistance. What is unit of resistance based on scientist name Ohms? So they put a unit of resistance is Ohm, and this is the symbol for Ohm. Reciprocal of Ohm, they write spelling reverse for the unit of conductance is MHO, mho, or Siemens. And here you see how a resistance depend upon what factors. Resistance of the conductor depend upon the length, more resistance, more area, less resistance. So resistance is directly proportional to length and inversely proportional to area of cross section of the conductor. And of course it depend upon temperature, and it depend upon impurity added and nature of the material also. So here to remove this proportionality they use a constant rho. Rho is called resistivity or specific resistance. So specific resistance means what you say, it is the resistance of the conductor which is having unit length and unit area of cross section. So units of resistivity is ohm meter, we get as, that is L is meter, A is meter square. So meter into ohm meter, we get unit of resistivity. Reciprocal of resistivity or reciprocal of specific resistance you can call conductivity, represented with sigma. Conductivity 1 by rho. What is the units of this? That is a mho meter inverse, or mho we can write as Simon meter inverse. That is the unit of conductivity. Here 4 quantities: resistance, ohms, conductance, Simon or mho, or resistivity or specific resistance, ohm meter, and now specific conductivity or specific conductance or conductivity. That is a mho meter inverse R and Simon meter inverse. These are the units. Main important here, relation between potential and current, V is equal to IR, and after that resistance R is equal to rho L by A, and rho is called resistivity or specific resistance. Relation with conductivity, sigma is equal to 1 by rho. Now we'll see about a drift velocity. The average velocity of charges dragged through the conductor, what we call drift velocity. Suppose for example you can take a conductor is there, and conductor having certain length L, area cross section is A. They apply some potential across that. Due to potential we get field intensity. Suppose the field intensity, we have one relation that we get in electric potential concept. So potential by length of the conductor. Potential difference by length of the conductor gives field intensity. Or you can say potential difference for unit length. So here due to this field, that field you can think it is acting like this. A charged particle is there. What is the force experienced? F is equal to EQ. What is acceleration? Force by mass, that is EQ by M. That means a charged particle is moving with some acceleration when you apply some potential across the conductor. Acceleration means what happens? Speed keeps on increasing. Speed keeps on increasing, and that accelerated motion. But here when it is increasing its speed, it may maybe take collision with other charge carriers which are moving randomly here, and maybe take collision with the atoms of this material. Because of that, what happen? The gain velocity will be lost and loses loses its losses its kinetic energy what it gains. That means every time what happens, because of field it is accelerating, and due to collision it loses energy. So then what happens? And an averagely with what speed it is moving. Of course, at any instant if you check the different velocities it moves, but on an average with what velocity this charged particle is moving through the material, through the conductor, that what you call and drift velocity. So here in definition they mention that the average velocity of charge dragged through conductor. Why they mention dragged through conductor? And this electron or some charge carrier that is moving from one end to other end, it may take number of collisions with the other charges and maybe number of collisions with the atoms. So due to that, this particle is dragged through the material due to electric field. That's why they call here drift velocity is dragged velocity inside the material. Suppose for example you can take for unit volume. If you assume for unit volume inside, how many number of charge carriers is there for unit volume? That here number of charges within unit volume, and that is more for good conductors and that is less for insulators. Semiconductors we have an average value. More free charges is there and more electrical current flows here. So how many such charges are there in the whole material? That means the number of charges present in the material is N is a number for unit volume, and what is the volume of the conductor? Area into length. This many charges are there. What is the total amount of charge? Total amount of charge is NaL is total number of charges into charge of each one is E. Take that electron is moving. So charge of each particle is electron, that you can consider electron is a particle, and total number of charges are present. N is for unit volume into total volume. So you get total number of particles into charge of electron. What you get? You get total charge we get. Consider that from here to here it take t seconds to move the charge particle from here to here. What is say drift velocity? Drift velocity is total length by total time. How much distance it travel? T distance it travel. So L distance it travel within t time. So L by T is drift velocity, you can write. Now how to calculate current? Current is equal to charge by time. Charge is total charge NA LE by time t. What is L by T? L by T we can write NEA VD. VD is drift velocity. A is area of cross section of the conductor, and E charge of each charge carrier. Here we are taking electrons. That's why we can take E, and N is charge density. Charge density means for unit volume how many charge particles are there. That gives current I is equal to NEA VD. That is drift velocity. You see here, and conductor apply some potential. Here current I is equal to NEA VD. And here current density. Next current density. Current density means for unit area how much current is flowing through the conductor. So the amount of current flowing through conductor for unit area normal to cross section. So current by area. So current units are ampere and area is meter square, ampere per meter square. It is a vector quantity, so you can write here, and this current density represented with J. So that is I by A is equal to NE VD. Why? Because you know current I is equal to NEA VD, and divided by A is there, A get cancelled, and you get NE VD V8. And after that we'll see about mobility of charge carrier. Mobility. What is mobility means? The drift velocity gained by a charged particle when we are applying unit electric field intensity. Mobility is equal to drift velocity by electric field intensity we can take. We know that electric field intensity is equal to V by L or V by D. So that formula we are using here, electric field intensity is equal to V by L. V is equal to IR according to Ohm's law. Just now only we discussed. V is equal to IR according to Ohm's law. So here what you can write I value. I value is using drift velocity formula, that is I equal to NEAVD, we can substitute here. In place of I is equal to NEAVD, and here into R. R is nothing but resistance. Using Ohm's law, we calculate here what is the resistance formula. R is equal to rho L by A, or otherwise we can write rho as 1 by sigma we can write. That formula we are using here, and here you see E is equal to V by L. V is equal to IR according to Ohm's law, and I is NEAVD using drift velocity relation, and R is rho L by A. Here L and A get cancelled, numerator and denominator. What you get? NEVD we get. That is field intensity E is equal to, you can write like this, NEVD into rho, resistivity. From this equation and according to definition of the mobility, what is mobility? That is drift velocity when you are applying unit electric field intensity. So VD by E, substitute this E value here. So VD get cancelled and you get mu, or nothing but mobility of the charged particle is 1 by NE rho. And rho we can write reciprocal, no? Rho we can write reciprocal of rho is sigma. So sigma is equal to, send this NE that side, what you can write? Sigma is equal to 1 by rho, that is equal to mu NE. Mu is called mobility of charge carrier. N is charge density, means how many number of charges are there per unit volume, and E is charge of the electron here. Why? Because here charge carriers are electrons only. So electron charge only we have to take here. Okay. Here important formulas: current and drift velocity relation, and current density and drift velocity relation, mobility, and here mobility, drift velocity relation, mobility conductance, and mobility resistivity relation.
I'll see about ohmic and non-ohmic conductors. First, what is ohmic conductors? The materials which are following, or the device which are following Ohm's law, are called ohmic conductors. That means, what is Ohm's law? I is proportional to V, or we know the formula V is equal to IR, otherwise I is equal to G into V, where R is resistance and G is conductance. Suppose if you draw a graph between potential versus current take on y-axis, potential on x-axis. For ohmic conductors, you should get a straight line passing through the origin. You should get a straight line. So I is proportional to V. What is the slope of the line? Here you can take theta. What is the slope of the line? M is equal to tan theta, nothing but change in y by change in x, nothing but change in the current by change in potential. What do you say? Current by potential, what do you get? G. That we get conductance. The slope of IV curve for ohmic conductor gives conductance. Reciprocal of slope gives resistance. So resistance, if you want, we can write resistance R is equal to 1 by G, that is equal to 1 by slope of the line, that is equal to 1 by tan theta, nothing but you can take cot theta. This is about ohmic conductors. What is Now we'll see about non-ohmic conductors. What is non-ohmic conductors? Which are not obeying Ohm's law. Suppose for example you can take a PN junction diode which is made of a semiconductor material, PN junction diode, and the forward bias characteristics are look like this. So it is not a straight line. So it represents a non-ohmic conductor, non-ohmic device. Here what is the slope of the line? That is conductance, but here different slopes are there. Suppose at any position if you want conductance, there you can draw a tangent on the graph. You can draw a tangent that make an angle theta with the x-axis. This gives conductance. So here conductance is equal to slope is equal to same, that is G here, that we can take it as a change in current by change in potential. Reciprocal of this, reciprocal of the slope, or you can write at that particular situation tan theta. Of course position to position, suppose here if you want you should draw a line like this, then you get a different slope. So that means resistance or conductance of the device is not constant, continuously changing. So that is the reason I is proportional to V is not valid here. There I is proportional to V, you get a straight line. Here it is a curved line. So these type of instruments have a dynamic resistance. Their resistance is constant. Here resistance is a dynamic resistance, fixed resistance is there. So in this case what you can write, R dynamic is equal to reciprocal of G dynamic, which is equal to dV by di at that particular point. What you can write, cot theta. So suppose if you take at this particular point you get more slope. More slope means less resistance. So know that slope is inversely proportional to resistance. And here less slope means more resistance. That is the reason initially the diode has less current, means it behaves like a insulator. When potential increases, what happens? It behaves like a good conductor. So say here resistance is more and here resistance is less. Suppose this is one of the example of non-ohmic conductor. Other example, vacuum tubes. Vacuum tubes, instead of diode they use vacuum tubes. And what is the nature of the vacuum tube? Means up to a certain potential there is no output current. Suppose a vacuum tube, if you take the graph current versus potential, even potential increases, initially there is no current, but at a particular potential what happens? It gives current like this. Of course this graph represent it is a straight line only, but not passing through the origin. What is Ohm's law? It should be a graph. If you are drawing between current and voltage, it should be passed through the origin and must be a straight line. So this is a non-ohmic conductor. If you take another instrument name called thermistor, temperature dependent resistor, for that we get a graph like this. See, up to certain potential current increases very slowly. After that, after reaching a particular potential, automatically potential increases, current increases. So this is a graph for thermistor. This is a graph for vacuum tube. That is a graph for semiconductor PN junction diode. These graphs are representing non-ohmic conductors.